You're dealing with bucking horses, and they're kind of the epitome of freedom. They've got a mind of their own. We've got 200 of them that might all have a different idea than what we've got. These horses, they're the stars of the rodeo. Without bucking horses, the show can't go on. Today's day one, the day that we get to start and drive the broncs towards Calgary. Normally, we'd bring them all in by truck, but we decided to do it the old-fashioned way, trail them. What a great way to commemorate Alberta's centennial. To be part of this great thing that we're going to do, just like they did 100 years ago, is really big. We've got just over 200 head of bucking horses, 20 paid wranglers. We've got a crew, ranch crew of 6 and a saddle horse crew of 5, and we've got 6 days to get into Calgary Stampede because there's a celebration waiting for us when we get there at 3 o'clock on Sunday. Each rider has paid $15,000 to come on the ride, and we only took 20, so if you're one of the lucky ones, then you got to come join us.
Well, we've been planning for the last 2 years. A lot of people involved, a lot of landowners, just lots of logistics. It's just kind of nice and satisfying to see it we're going to start.
If you'd asked me when I was 5 years old what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would have said a cowboy. And this is the ultimate fantasy. And it's just an absolutely extraordinary group of people coming together and sort of living out childhood dreams, along with some really serious cowboys. So it's quite a mix of people.
It seemed like everybody's blended already and molded together with people here from all walks of life and all over the country. So by the time they leave here in 6 or 7 days, I think they're going to have some special relationships that they'll cherish forever.
Having the opportunity to have my daughter Miranda here with us is just great. We spend a lot of time together, but this is pretty special.
I'm 14, and I just think it's really cool that I get to do it, because a lot of my friends are kind of jealous because they wanted to go on this ride too. I'm pretty lucky.
Raymond and Grant, if you keep an eye on them, they'll keep us headed the right direction.
My wife describes me as nothing exceeds like excess. So anything I can figure out to do that's excessive, I try to run and do it.
Have fun today.
The guest wranglers that have come on the show have got quite a range of riding ability. We've got real expert riders, we've got cutting horse people, we've got cattle penners, right down to people that have hardly ever ridden before. These horses are young, they're energetic, and they're in great shape. And boy, if they see a hole and they think they can get away, they'll try and go.
We're just gonna make a little swirl, and then we'll get them bent and held here.
It's kind of like a school. And I tell them always just go with the flow of the bucking horses.
We'll go this way. Okay, we'll go that way then.
If you try to go against them, they can hit your horse and knock you down so fast it's unbelievable.
When the horses came out, they got away from the lead for a little while, and they've circled this area and blowing off some steam, and I think they're about to get them settled and headed out. It had to happen sometime. Best it happened out here where we had plenty of room to handle it.
Yeah, they'll get a bunch of the run out of them right now. They've been out there running around, so they'll cool out a bit. And as I say, as the days go on, they become more herdy. You got to steer the lead horses in the direction you're going, because the rest of them behind will follow. It's like moving water, and you have to guide it along.
Their natural instinct is to flee.
And what we have to do is just control them. We always have to have control, because if you lose it and they get away on you, then it makes it tougher the next time. Hey. You wipe?
The valley back there, the horses, some of the most beautiful scenery, and to watch 200 head of free-running horses is an experience of its own. Today and tomorrow out in this open, beautiful land are just something you can't describe. It's more than a Kodak moment, that's for sure.
As we were coming towards the end of the day, we knew that the river was high, and because we just had these floods and everything, so we were pretty certain we were going to have to go across the bridge and not swim them across.
Generation or two.
Bring them all up here, Raymond.
We came out of the coulee, and we thought we really should try and get these horses across that bridge tonight.
Hey, like almost where the truck.
We'd been talking about a little bit earlier. It seems how it was raining and whatever, and we'd had them break loose on us a few times.
Yeah, go here, wait.
We thought, what a better time to take them across than right at the end when they're tired. Across those bridges, it gets narrow, and horses start to feel confined, and so they start to run, and you've got all the noise of the hollow bridge, and then they come shooting out the other end, and it could be pretty wild. I'm sure glad we did now. It was good, like real good. Something that we're all really glad to have done now is have those horses across that bridge, because we would have lost some sleep tonight just waiting for morning to come when we'd have to cross that bridge. So.
Their day was almost to an end. Horses are smart; they figure that stuff out. And that night, we trailed them up the hill on the other side, and there's a nice little pasture there, and they got to relax for the whole night. They worked pretty good for us.
I really had no idea. I had this sort of picture of the Big West and sort of a little throwback to 100 years ago. But I wasn't sure exactly what would be involved. I knew it would be fairly tough.
Yeah. This is a historic ride, not too many places or not too many times, like in the year 2005, can you do something like this. with the more and more of urbanization in the world, it's going to get tougher and tougher to find places like this to trail horses through. The more that the world closes in on well, we'll say, you know, the country, the less and less chance that they have to do this again. There you go.
You got to realize that it's not just wide open prairie between the ranch and the Calgary Stampede. There's a lot of individual ranch owners and landowners in between the two places. Like, we never talked to anyone that wasn't just, sure, you know, how could we help? Yes, we'd love to have you come across. They were just overwhelmingly welcoming. Everybody's kind of got it figured out now. Yeah. You know, like they, you know, like all these guys, they're smart. They can see how it works and make it happen. Good. They're not going to get away on it today. No. Everybody knows what that's like.
Well, I have kids, so I'm, you know, a mom, and I paint as well. And I just paint as many hours as I can in a day. It doesn't always add up to many, but that's what I always spend every free moment doing. Horses and cowboys, and it's oil on linens. It would be really nice to get some good composition material, because I paint from the photographs.
No, down there in that water there, they can have a drink. Yeah, let them have a drink. We're just gonna hold them right here, right now. Yes?
Well, I heard about this a few years ago, and then a guy I know knew somebody, and he told me it was coming up again, so I said, get me on this. So I said, this is an adventure of a lifetime. This is not normal for me, right? We don't do this every weekend in Toronto.
Don't often get to see this.
Oh, it's spectacular. Look, they're all settled, having a little drink. Everybody's happy.
This is something I'll do for the rest of my life. I can't imagine doing anything different.
What's the big breed of beef out here? Is it? It's Angus.
Might just fun to do anything. But it's fun to do something new. If you really want to know, I'm 70 years old, but people keep saying it beats the alternative. Since I've never seen the alternative, I'll take that for granted.
A nice job through there. And cheer up.
This is where we stayed 5 years ago.
You know tents or what?
Well, we got the tough part of it over now. If you can survive yesterday, then you can survive the rest of the trip.
Like, there's nothing prettier, and you know, and there was different times that you just seen so much beauty. A few times, like Vern Longsbury, where we're sitting up there, and he just kind of nudge me and say, look back there, you know, and you'd see those horses long trotting, and of course there's nothing I like better than watching a bucking horse. And so here's both, you know, a bucking horse that's long trotting, and they're going somewhere. They're going to Calgary.
I'm looking forward to coming to Hussar, because it's going to be quite exciting. I think there's going to be probably 1,000 people waiting to see us. I think that the guys plan on bringing the horses through Main Street. So that's going to be exciting.
We're cooking for all the people to come out to see the horse ride here. You don't see that very often anymore. It's a good turnout, so it's good.
Coming into Hussar, and all the people lined up on the streets, and you know, and they're clapping and cheering, and we trotted the horses down there, and it worked just perfectly.
Horses will follow. They're herding animals. They will follow. And you just have some experienced people to keep the flanks in behind the point riders, and you can pretty much go any place. Like, we could have took those horses through the bar tonight, single file.
There was just barely enough room to get them all to turn back, and the thing that amazed me was people didn't move back. They just were kind of mesmerized by all these horses, and they just kind of, wow, you know. And it was almost like they were watching it on TV. They didn't realize that they were kind of just about in the middle of it.
You know, I had some people walk up to me afterwards and they said, we had tears in our eyes watching those horses come in. We had tears in our eyes because of the mosquitoes in our eyes, but, you know, we're getting so used to seeing the horses that we're losing sight of, you know, really what's going on, because it's kind of becoming who we are, but it's an awesome experience.
A friend of mine explained it to me. He said, you know, life's kind of like a roll of toilet paper. The older you get, the faster it goes. He then added that the harder it is to move. I felt the aches and pains of this ride, but enjoyed them, and look forward to tomorrow. Another good day.
Across the number 1 highway, there was it was the first time during the trail that we had to really be organized with some outside agencies. We had communications with the railroad, the RCMP. They closed down the highway for us, and they gave us a little opportunity to cross, and they stopped the traffic for us. That was good because it's number 1 highway. It's the busiest highway in Canada, and that works so slick.
Great, thanks.
Fire right here.
Thank you.
There was a lot of anticipation because the last few times that they did the trail drive, they did not go across the Siksika Nation, and so we were really hoping that this would be a big highlight of the ride. And when we came over top of that hill, and the broncs are all right there, and we're coming down over there, you see the welcoming committee and the flag and everything, and you just kind of. This is really, really cool. It just had that great Old West feel, like you were in an old John Wayne movie or whatever. I think everybody was almost a little bit nervous about the whole thing. It was really a great moment.
Thanks, Bob.
Today, you guys come in as non-natives of our land. That was a no-no long time ago. It'd be a battle, it'd be a lot of scalps taking place today. But that was the old days, and we had the treaty, the treaty today that still carries from 1877 was to share our land with your people, your ancestors. Some of your ancestors were probably those people that came to the treaty, and today we welcome you as being part of that. Today, it's an honor to see this occasion. the horses being brought onto our land. I not be not do seal. I could take some baki and
The Siksika Nation was so helpful in everything with the trail driving, and they wanted to be such a part of it, and you know, because it is a part of Native culture and a part of their history is the horse.
I'm kind of a history buff, and and enjoy all of the elements that this trip is allowing me to explore in terms of the history. Like today, meeting some of the ceremonial chiefs today and hearing about Crowfoot and Poundmaker, not from a history book, but from the real First Nations. It's awesome.
I'm joining this ride simply because my father used to lead a few hundred head of horses up from the Siksika Nation to the Calgary Stampede. Today, my son Real and my daughter Erin, we're doing it for tradition, so to speak. I want to feel what my dad went through and what my grandparents went through.
And I wanted to give a gift to Robin Burwash.
Something about this whole ride is bringing out that spirit to people that you don't see every day. This is probably the way they did it when they moved the buck and stock here, 50 years ago. It's part of that Western heritage. And yeah, we play real country music.
I love it. We have a band in San Francisco. We call it Bluegrass Orgasmica because we fake it.
It's not that common because people don't get together like this much anymore, but we got horses and we got saddles and we got fiddle and a banjo and a guitar.
I don't know anything about the Hutter rides. So when they came to sing, I thought we'd hear something about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or, they sung Rodeo Romeo. I thought that was spectacular.
It makes you so proud, and actually, I have to say, is that it brings a tear to my eye.
The country we've been traveling across and the people we've been meeting, it's not only just a chance to ride a horse, but meet a lot of people, break down a lot of boundaries. It's been awesome.
Oh, pretty good this morning. They're just moving along nice. It's first thing in the morning, just get out of the pen. It's good just to get them saddled as soon as you pull into a gate out into the wide open here, just to get them saddled, just to remember that little bit of control. And every day it seems to be getting better, and they're trailing good now. So we're just gonna go up over this hill and kind of around the bend. We're gonna kind of follow the north side of the river here. In about 3 hours, we'll be at Gleason Rodeo Grounds. Yeah, there's a big difference between first day and today. Yeah. Horse must have lost that piece of wire, eh?
Yeah, I think he
Because
did.
they're settled. If you want to hike out there and bring them horses back to me, yeah, she's with me all the time and every day, but this is special, you know. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for her, and she's having a blast. She's loving this.
On the trail ride, I've been just trailing the horses, doing pretty much what everybody else is doing. Everybody that paid to go on the ride, I've been doing the same thing as them.
You want to be the flag person? Go right ahead, be the keeper of the flag. Sometimes things get tough, you know, and well, get tough in school, get tough in life, whatever, and then just kind of keep your chin up and keep a good attitude. And
That's one of his main lines, is keep your chin up. What he always tells me.
this is the first opportunity they've had to come this far south and come over the Siksika First Nations, and this is great. And just the history and everything about it here, you know, when we stopped at Crowfoot's monument and went through the reserve, it was just great. And I hope we can do this again.
It's just a wonderful experience, and you know, the aesthetics are different here. Where I come from, the sky doesn't go on forever. And it's, you know, it's hard to grow up, I guess, in the prairies and have small thoughts. I mean, there's so much space around here, and you get little glimmerings of that as you travel around and talk to people and share their experiences.
People from all sorts of walks of life here. And when you're riding along, you can have a conversation about damn near anything. You know, I know that there's going to be a lot of friendships that have been forged from this that will, you know, be lifelong.
The warmth, the friendships, the back and forth. There's no class system here. There's no unfriendliness. There's no pretension. There's nobody pulling rank. There are no whiners. I haven't heard one person complain about anything. Well, maybe there's one time we didn't have cold beer. There was one time, maybe, and one guy, but that was it.
Yeah, it's a great way to get to know people. I noticed, though, that as time goes by, fewer and fewer people want to ride with me. This morning I said, I got to tell you this great story about my sister-in-law. So I finished it. He said, you're old. And I said, why? He said, because you told me that yesterday.
Great people, great people. You know, we're looking at a lot of people that have fairly good influential money, and you don't notice it out here. They're right back down to earth with everybody else, and they're having a hell of a time, and they're, you know, wanting to learn things that we do take for granted, I guess, and they're enjoying themselves.
Today at lunchtime at Gleason, this should be our last opportunity that we had fairly good handling facilities to sort out any horses that aren't making the trip very well. It's just like anything else, you know. They get tired, they get sore, and so what we did was we had a handful of horses. They're just road worry more than anything, and they were younger horses that we're not going to use anyways at the Stampede, but we'd still, you know, they were tired and they just needed to go home, so that's why we were cutting out those few horses, just so, and we'll take them home and they can rest, and they got a long life to live, so we better take care of them.
When you came over the hill and there was the teepee village, and it was just a you know, it's almost like a religious moment, I guess you could say, that, you know, you just kind of, wow, this is, you know, there was just so many of these moments.
Just riding through unbelievably beautiful country. I've never been any place like this. It's just gorgeous.
Today was a very spiritual day. You guys saw yesterday we got blessed by the elders of the Siksika Nation as they invited us onto their land, and letting us ride through here is something that's very historic and very special. We're fortunate to be here today. Unbelievably beautiful countryside. For us to come through with 200 head of bucking horses is really special. This has been something that I'll never forget.
I spend a lot of time with these horses, and I love them, and just the only way to figure out what makes them tick is to, you know, figure out a little bit what's behind them. Well, if you picked out a number or name, I could probably point out most of them.
58.
58. 58's a little Pinot gelding we call Nickelback.
72.
72 is a big gray mare by the name of Marshmallow.
14.
14, Bobby Joe, black mare that's in our breeding program right now. 56 is a little mare just the other day when we went across the Siksika Nation, we renamed and called her Siksika Nation. Well, if it wasn't for these horses, I'd have to go out and find some other friends, I guess.
Tomorrow is the last day, and you're kind of, you could feel the anticipation. People are thinking, you know, we're getting closer to Calgary.
Well, it's not near as much fun. I mean, you'd sooner be riding out in the country and enjoying Mother Nature than you would be worried about traffic and stuff, but it's all part of the game, so.
The closer we got to the city, the more that people came out, and the more that, you know, we seen how special the thing we were doing is.
I don't know, this is the first time I've ever seen this. You know, seeing the horses get run like this, the way they did it old-fashioned, that's really nice.
Well, I know when I was talking to some of the guys back there, they could see the skyline of Calgary and their old hearts started to flutter a little bit and beat, so they're getting pretty excited and pretty pumped out tomorrow. We're all talking about it.
Well, we made it. We're dry and bug-free and smiling. I think that's super.
Boys. There we are.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We had a great day. It was a very wonderful afternoon. The weather was perfect. No bugs. It was wet this morning. Everybody was soaked through, but that's part of the fun.
Oh, it's late in the day and I'm stiff. That's a pretty graceful exit. Damn though, at the end of the road where all those kids are cheering, I stood in front of them looking official, and one of them said, "That guy looks like an investment banker." It was great. Every day's been great. It's been thrilling.
And you fly home tomorrow?
It doesn't feel like a sort of client-customer relationship. In fact, it definitely isn't when, you know, one of the cowboys says, "Get your ass over on the other side of that field." You know, it's clear that he doesn't have the feeling that he's like working for us. I'm really sorry it's ending. It's been better than I ever could have imagined it would have been.
A little nervous because the city will be a little different, right? So, but hopefully it'll be fun.
Yeah, no.
One other one.
There's that little bit of sadness in it because we knew it was going to end soon, but that was last night to kind of celebrate and get everybody together.
Last time we did it, we were basically all locals, and this time we've got a guy from Texas and a guy from San Francisco on, and a politician from Ontario that we were also surprised that showed up. It was a big surprise to everybody, but he's been a great guy, and he's hung right in there and come all the way with us, so you always give a guy credit where credit's due.
Oh, lots of good-natured fun and give and take, and yeah, it's been very congenial and lots and lots and lots of laughs.
You've worked and lived hard with these people for 5 days, for 5 full days, and it hasn't been easy. The final night, everybody just kind of got off and laid back, and and they laughed and they kidded and they and really enjoyed the people that were on the trail.
All we got to do is get in there tomorrow and get down to the grounds. I don't look forward to that tramping that pavement, that slippery old pavement, for pounding that tomorrow. But we did it last 5 years ago, and everything went great. So we've had no wrecks, nobody's got hurt, haven't hurt any horses. So it's been perfect. Couldn't be any better.
Doing great. Looks like we got the perfect day to wrap up this little trip, and I'm looking forward to that. Been a great one. Been a great one. They said all us Wranglers are supposed to wear these red shirts, and it's really not my color, but I'll go for it.
Day 6. Yeehaw.
Saddest day of my life.
See you, gentlemen. Y'all have a good day.
Woke up pretty excited. Blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. We thought, wow, what a way to end this deal. Perfect day.
We're just taking off for our final run into Calgary. Everything's looking good. Everybody's feeling good. Yeah, it's kind of exciting.
You hate to see something that has been so great and such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity come to an end. And I think that's the way everybody was feeling on that last Sunday morning when we were saddling up and heading out towards Calgary.
I'm sorry. I got this plan. This plan where we're just going to keep going west. Okay, we're riding along, singing the song, side by side. All kinds of weather, we'll stick together.
Having the opportunity to do the things that they used to do back in the old days. These trail horses to Calgary every year, and now it's an event, and being able to be part of it, and having my daughter with me, and just being out there in front, it was pretty special.
As we got closer to the city, the crowds started to build, and the more that people are always stopping, and everybody was taking pictures, and everybody's yelling at us, congratulations, you make us proud to be Albertans, you make us proud to be Canadians, and you could see everybody was really, really enjoying it. That that's why they did it.
Everything was going good, and when we looped around that corner, and it just, sometimes the unexpected comes up.
Pretty good little jog here for a while. Here they come.
Sometimes, you know, they spook, and that's kind of what happened.
Out the other side. Move, Miranda. Here they go. Jump on there, brother. There we go.
We couldn't believe what was going on, like I say, in a split second.
Bob, come here right now. Grab this horse right here. Miranda, you ride with me. Come on this side.
Did you get him stopped up there? Yeah.
When we got things turned in and stopped at the gas station, I just, I couldn't believe, what had transpired in a second in a matter of 2 blocks.
You know, after everything happened and we were holding the horses in that little parking lot on the other side of the bridge, it was, I spent my life with these horses, and and I didn't know if there was 2 or 10 or 9 or whatever that were missing, but I know that there was at least one.
We lost 9 horses. I guess you're just glad that it stopped.
What happened, and there's nobody that feels any worse about it than I do.
Most wisdom is written in country songs. And there's a line from one song, how can I keep from crying? And I can't.
Each one of those horses had a mother, and each one of them had a father, and some of them are ones that I seen being born, and every one of them had a little special spot for whatever reason.
I look up to my father even more now. He handled that so well. I was freaking out, and he just kept cool. He told everybody what to do. He was yelling at people, but he was only yelling because he cared about every single one of those people and horses on the ride, and he didn't want any more people to get hurt.
Warren Hellman comes all the way from San Francisco to ride Trail 2005.
A lot of us, when we came into it, had a tear in our eye when we saw those thundering horses coming in, and just thinking about all the experiences. It was a very emotional week, and I guess it compressed a whole bunch of life into a week. Just maybe reminded us all a little more of our own mortality. I said at the beginning, there's a bunch of old guys here living out their childhood fantasies.
Flower Mound, Texas.
It's going to take some time to sink in, really what went on here. But I think over time, we'll all say, wow, we were a part of history here. And what a trip.
Ride with them, guys. Ride with them.
said that the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man. I think after spending 6 days with 200 head of bucking horses, you can't disagree with that statement.
This is my life, you know, everything, spend all the time with these horses, and I'll think about it for a long time.